Hello, friends. How are you today? I brought a silly story with me today, and I want us to just read this silly story and enjoy it for being a silly story. This story is called That Is Not a Good Idea by Mo Willems. I'm going to show you the picture of the story. We know Mo Willems because we have read some Elephant and Piggy books and some pigeon books as well. Mo Willems writes both Elephant and Piggy and the pigeon books. That Is Not a Good Idea by Mo Willems. You can see here that a friend of mine got this book for me a long time ago in May 2016. That Is Not a Good Idea by Mo Willems. This is created in the style of an old type of movie called a silent movie. And so we'll see the pictures and we'll see what the characters are saying to each other. Look, the fox sees the goose. What luck! Dinner! The fox sees the goose and tips his hat and says, "Excuse me, would you care to go for a walk?" Or a stroll, he says. The goose says, sure. Look, a little gosling pops his head in and says, "That is not a good idea." Is it a good idea to go on a stroll with a fox that we don't know? Probably not. The fox and the goose are on a walk. They're strolling through the city. Fox says, "Would you care to continue our walk into the deep, dark woods?" Would you go on a walk into the deep, dark woods? Something we got to think about. The goose says, "Sounds fun." I don't know. I think that I would say, sounds scary. But in this story, it's a silly story. So the goose says, it sounds like fun. And look here, the two goslings are saying, "That is really not a good idea." I think I agree with the goslings. That is not a good idea. They're in the woods. And Fox says, "Would you care to visit my nearby kitchen?" Gosling says, "I would love to." Oh, sorry, not Gosling. Mother Goose says. The goslings say, "That is really not a good idea." They're in the kitchen now, and there's a fire burning, and Fox is carrying a big pot of water for soup. And Gosling is watching, or Goose is watching, I'm sorry, I keep saying Gosling. "Would you care to boil some water for some soup?" Fox asks. Goose licks her lips and says, "Certainly, I do love soup." Look, the goslings are getting so concerned. "That is really not a good idea," they say. Look here, Fox is getting so excited. He thinks something is going to happen and he's going to have dinner. He looks into the soup and he points into it and says, "Would you care to look at my soup? A key ingredient is missing." The goslings interrupt and say, "That is really not a good idea." Mother Goose says, "Oh, a key ingredient is missing." What do you think that key ingredient is? Splash! Into the soup goes Mr. Fox. Oh my! You can see up here, zoom. She's slamming the lid on top. And she says, "You. The key ingredient missing is you." That tricky goose. Look, here come hungry goslings. "Well, we did try to warn him," they say. The end. Before we end, Mother Goose says, "More soup, children." The children are all eating the soup. Oh my. Well, that certainly was a silly story. But I think we need to remember it's not a good idea to go into the woods with someone you don't know. In fact, it's probably not a good idea to go anywhere with someone you don't know. But my friends, I hope you enjoyed that silly story, and I will see you another time. All right, bye-bye.